To the layman, a collar is just a small part of an outfit. But in the idol world, especially at Taehyung's level, who is no longer just an idol but also a fashion icon and symbol of Korean aesthetics, a collar can be a status symbol. Some time ago, when he appeared in military promotional photos and in a limited circulation video, observant netizens immediately noticed. His collar was not just any collar. It was a high collar, semi-Mandarin style with special folds, similar to the style of collar worn by squad leaders or commanders in the Korean military context. And this is not the first time. If you flash back to the pre-military era, especially during the promotion of Layover, Taehyung often appeared in semi-formal outfits that had striking collar details. Even in some photo shoots with a retro vibe, the collar is set intentionally to appear more dominant on camera. This kind of visual code is often used in Korean entertainment, a tacit message to show an idol's status, ambition, or new direction. If we relate this to fashion psychology and nonverbal communication theory, then the collar is a body part that is close to the face. Meaning, it directly conveys who we are to the world. Taehyung understands this. He knows that the world sees him not just from his songs, but from the way he stands, walks, and yes, from his collar. And going into the draft phase, Taehyung wasn't just any soldier. He entered an elite Special Unit A military force with a reputation for high discipline and strict selection. This fact is enough to make the public excited. But if you look deeper, this is a very smart form of rebranding. He formed a narrative, not just a handsome idol who entered the military, but an idol who is ready to lead, ready to fight, and ready to return to the stage as a king. We all know K-pop is tough. Every year there are newcomers. The fifth generation is starting to fill TikTok screens, and BTS is currently in a vacuum due to military service. But out of all the members, Taehyung has the most mysterious yet strategic comeback style. He's not the one shouting for the spotlight. Instead, with silence and style, he builds an aura. The theory of symbolic dominance in the entertainment industry says, sometimes the most powerful is not the most vocal, but the quietest, most consistent in building symbols and messages. And Taehyung has been doing that since before the draft. Let's remember, out of all his solo projects, Layover wasn't an explosive song like Jungkook's 7. But those songs, in terms of production, visuals, and storytelling, had one strong message. I'm not just a pop singer, I'm an artist. It's not about charts, it's about positioning. He wants to be known not as a successful idol, but as an icon of Korean culture on an international level. Aside from the collar, there are several other small codes that lead to one big conclusion. Taehyung is working his way back to the center of K-pop. First, his social media activity. Even in the military, there are moments where Taehyung's photos or videos appear unofficially. And they all have a very curated aesthetic. It's not a random candid. This is how he remains present in the subconscious of fans and the public, without actually appearing on stage. Second, international celebrity endorsements. Many Western actors and models still post about Taehyung, comment on his photos, and even mention him in interviews. It's not just fans, it's a network. And in showbiz, networking is power. When he returns, Taehyung won't just have ARMY. He has global connections that can be a weapon. Third, HYB's own strategy. They understand that BTS comeback can't be haphazard. And one thing they know for sure, Taehyung is the trump card that can't go wrong. So, subtle codes through military style, through visual teasers, and through the placement of narratives in the media were all neatly organized for one purpose: to bring Taehyung back to the top, not as an ordinary magne line, but as a potential leader of the new era. Many people say that the dominance of K-pop these days is more about performance and viral music. But there's one gap that hasn't been replaced by anyone: charismatic visual icons, who aren't just good-looking but have a mysterious appeal. And the only one who still has the full package is, well, you know who, Taehyung. With a face called Perfect Face by Korean plastic surgeons and an expression that can go from cold to warm in 1 second, Taehyung has become the new benchmark. After his enlistment, he will fill that gap again. And it's possible that he won't just fill it, he'll dominate it. But wait a minute, if you think this is all about collars or fashion, you're wrong. Because Taehyung's collar code doesn't stand alone. It's part of a bigger map, a layered strategy that was secretly laid out long before he left for the army. And this becomes even more apparent when we draw the line to the internal dynamics of BTS itself. Remember, before his enlistment, Taehyung was seen staying away from the mainstream spotlight. He didn't appear too often on variety shows, rarely promoted in Korea, and tended to build his image through exclusive projects, be it with Celine, Cartier, or even high-fashion editorial shoots. This is not without reason. He is shaping the narrative. Taehyung is not just part of the group, but a singular entity that stands strong outside the idol system. And that's important, because when all the members are drafted, there will be a big moment, the BTS reunion. And you know what that means? There will be a new division of positions. Not officially, but symbolically. Who's the most prominent? Who is the most dominant? Who controls the aesthetic and stylistic direction? And this is where Taehyung prepared to take that place. The collar code is the opening signal, the introduction that he is ready to appear not as the V, who is always the butt of jokes because of his baritone voice or handsome face, but as Taehyung, the cultural icon, silent commander, and symbol of South Korea's visual superiority. Even the way he carries himself in the military is different. There aren't many gimmicks, but every appearance has weight. It has a vibe. That's why, if we relate it back to the title of this video, well, Taehyung's collar code revealed, it's not clickbait, it's reality. Because in a world that's getting noisier and noisier with new idols, viral trends, and forgettable songs, Taehyung is back with a silence that hits. So the question now is not, is Taehyung coming back? But, is K-pop ready for the return of a king who has been biding his time to reclaim his throne? And one more thing, if you think this is the peak, you haven't seen anything yet.